I know, you gotta love them. They just get along so well. Eustace and Millium. Looks like they got the tanks ready. Don't hear anybody complaining yet that the tanks aren't ready. Crossbell stateside. Okay, so this is where we're supposed to see the railway guns. And then those are the doors to the railway guns, I believe. At last, after what seemed like enough adventure to fill a week, we reached the final day of our field study. Over in Crossbell State, they were busy preparing for today's keynote session at the trade conference. We spent the morning running through the Imperial Army's physical fitness program alongside some of the soldiers, and after completing it, no easy task, I might add, we sat down to a lukewarm redux of yesterday's lunch. That afternoon, during our special military science lecture, we were presented with a confidential report on the terrorists. The Imperial Liberation Front is in Crossbell? That's right, or at least that's what the Intelligence Division believes. It looks like the known terrorist organization from the Calvard Republic has turned up in Crossbell, too. The situation is over there is pretty touch and go right now. Oh no. What are the authorities doing? Everything they can, naturally. However, operations are being handled solely by the Intelligence Division. They refuse to tell the Imperial Army anything, just that they have a trusted ally taking care of things. But who does the Intelligence Division trust? You've got to know something about this, right, Short Stack? Well, I do, but I can't really tell you anything. I guess it's not a breach of confidentiality to tell you. They're a really strong bunch, though. That's still pretty vague. I've got a few ideas. Anyway, there's not much point in us worrying about that right now. The bigger issue is that the terrorists of the hour, the Imperial Liberation Front, are a bigger crew than we thought. Big enough to be in possession of a state-of-the-art military airship at least. Seriously? An airship? Can we assume Reinford's the manufacturer then? Correct. Just how something that large found its way into the hands of insurgents is currently unknown. But it seems to be a high-speed model, different from the heavily armored types favored by the Imperial Army. I'd bet it's from the RF-26 series. There are a number of different models within that series, though. But if they have an airship, that means they're going to be a whole lot more difficult to catch, doesn't it? That's exactly what it means. It's basically impossible to keep tabs on them as it is. With an airship in their possession, there's no telling when or where they'll pop up next. That's quite worrying, especially since Prince Oliver is attending the conference. And Toa's in Crossbell right now, too. Yeah. Damn, now you've got me worrying. Aw, take it easy. I don't think you have anything to worry about with Gramps and Lecter over there. Well, that aside, if the terrorist attention is currently focused on Crossbell, does that mean the Empire is effectively safe right now? You raise a good point, Laura. They did target Princess Alphen during the summer festival last month. It's possible it's just a feint. Maybe they just want us to believe they're targeting the Chancellor. The Railway Military Police thought so, too, which is why they've increased the security level here at home. The Emperor and everyone else connected to the Imperial family should be safe. They've also beefed up security anywhere that seems short-handed. As well prepared as ever, I see. At any rate, you finally uncovered some information on the terrorists' identities, correct? That's right, though once again we have the Intelligence Division to thank for that. If you turn your attention to the screen, please. G. I know that face. G. That's the man who kidnapped Princess Alphen and Elise in Heimdall. Not to mention he tried to start a war with Calford in the Nord Highlands. So who is he? His full name is Michael Gideon. He used to be an assistant professor at the Imperial Army in Heimdall. That man? A teacher? So, an academic. Right, his focus was political philosophy. 3 years ago, he was dismissed from his position due to his intense criticism of Chancellor Osborne's hardline policies. Oh, so getting laid off set him on the road to terrorism? Well, it sounds like the actual reason he was let go was because he was handing out tracts and flyers in public. You'll find these kinds of idealists at the heart of most terrorist groups, though. In seating a group with their core ideology, they twist it to be even more militant and radical. You can't even reason with them either. Yeah, they just don't know when to give up. Sounds like some other groups I know. So, do we know anything about the others? We crossed paths with what I can only assume were 3 other key members last month in Heimdall. Yes, S, V, and C. It seems like they haven't been able to dig up much on these 3 yet. Their strongest lead right now is that V may have belonged to a Jaeger Corps. Interesting. He was toting around this machine gun that looked like it should have been mounted on a vehicle. Did he seem at all familiar to you, V? Not really. They're working on narrowing down the identity of S, too, but it's too early to make any informed statements. The real unknown is their leader, C. The one in the visored helmet. I heard he was able to go toe-to-toe with Reen, Laura, and Fee simultaneously. I almost find that hard to believe. I don't. I imagine there are plenty of people in the Empire who could do so. It goes without saying that the Radiant Blade Master could fend 3 of us off without much of a problem. But I bet Good Mira, Instructor Sarah, and Major Neihart could do it too. I can't say for certain. Look at Mr. Modesty over here. Major here is widely held to be one of the strongest up-and-coming officers in the entire army. I've heard people mention him right alongside Major Vander. Laying it on a little thick today, aren't we? Going by the family name, it seems safe to assume he's a practitioner of the Vander style of swordsmanship. No doubt a relative Lieutenant General Vander from Zender Gate. Well, I would question whether I can stand on equal footing with him. Major Vander is unquestionably strong. He was my classmate during my military academy years, and quite close to Prince Oliver as well. In fact, he's in Crossbell right now, serving as the prince's bodyguard. Whoa. Well, that's reassuring to know. But, getting back to the point, it's not just C we still know very little about. Their group as a whole. Even their source of funding is a mystery, so even if they're a no-show in Crossbell, I doubt we've heard the last of them. And call it coincidence of fate, but you've put the kibosh on their schemes twice now. It's entirely possible they've come to hold a personal grudge against you, so be careful. Right. Yeah, we'll be sure to keep that in mind.